The Aberdare Range, part of Kenya's colonial burden, Kenya's bewitching beauty, the potential of her soil drove the settlers to the best of Kenya's land.
We had our dogs and our horses and our friends, and we entertained, we went about.
They saw in her a home that they could turn into Little England. But the grabbing of prime land meant less land for majority of Africans to share and forced them into overcrowded settlements, and they were soon demanding the right to their native soil. Something had to give. Thus began the liberation struggle. And like a wounded but a triumphant soldier returning home, Mukami Kimathi returned to the Aberdare Range, which was home to many settlers. Ironically, the house she returned to was a colonial relic that still stands in her compound. It is here we meet the strong-willed but physically ailing Mukami. She is suffering from Parkinson's disease, but that has not dampened her passion for life and to share her narrative. She was part of the struggle, both as a counselor to the young people who were joining in the agitation to push the white man out of Kenyan land. But when one of her children was born, she had to abandon her husband.
Ni kwa ajili tulikuwa na mtoto tukaona atatembea na ziatatembelea huku. Tena vita tukikutana nayo atawawa na atawawa bure.
That heralded the beginning of her problems with the then colonial government. She was detained and asked by a court to produce her husband, Dedan Kimathi.
Kulingana nilikuwa ninaapa hawezi kuharibu Kenya yetu na siwezi kuuza. Hata wale wanauza leo wako na laana.
She remained in detention until her husband was captured. Everything at the time was about secrecy and codes. She recalls in jest how her husband attempted to write a letter to her and forgot to put a sign that they had agreed they would use any time they communicated, just to be sure that no one was trying to play games.
Akakumbuka akaweka, ndio nikachukua barua. Ndio nikapewa ruhusa, nikapewa askari. Kulingana nilikuwa jela, nilikuwa Mubugo. Akanipeleka. Tukachida mchana mzima, mpaka asubuhi mpaka jioni. Nikamwambia nionize pale ulitugwa na risasi. Kaniambia nilitugwa hapa ikatokea hapa. Iko kwa mwili, ilitolewa. Iko na kilema ndio. Mguu ni mzuri, akaruka mara 3. Akaniambia hana taabu, unaona.
Mourning her husband, she says, was almost impossible. She wanted to see at least his body. To date, nobody knows where exactly the remains of Dedan Kimathi were buried.
Siku wako nione kama ni kumunyoga au ni nini, lakini walisema wabeberu ndio wanajua ile malimufanya.
While there were many women who were involved in the liberation struggle, most of them did not live to enjoy the fruits of the freedom they craved. Others came out of the forest to find the world had moved on without them, condemning them to a daily struggle to catch up with a society that regarded them with suspicions and even contempt. For Mukami, the issue of compensation for their suffering is one she does not take lightly.
Sisi haja tukumuzika hata kidogo. Mpaka siku ile tutalipwa haki yetu. Na si kama ile pesa ilipewa huyu anaitwa mzee. Hawa alilipo juzi. Hiyo si kitu. Haki yetu si 100,000. Si kama 3,000.
Kidogo.
Tafadhali ikae. Tafadhali ikae. Tena wapiganiaji uhuru wapate heshima yao kulingana na kazi walifanya. Gari yetu kuna kitu imekosa kwa ajili ya lijini. Kuna kitu imekosa. Lijini ni mzuri na bodi ni mzuri, lakini kuna kitu bado jazo. Na wakati yote itako ikifanya di. Di.
Well, even as she waits for that compensation, she is lucky to have been given a car by former President Mwai Kibaki that has helped her with mobility. For Citizen Weekend, Aman Mawathe.